Good morning, everyone. Happy New Month. Well, it is Happy New Month and it is not Happy New Month, is it? Considering all the happenings in Nigeria at the moment, it is not a happy time. I just want to share something with you guys today. You see, I love Nigeria. I love Nigeria so much. I love Nigeria. I love Nigerian people. I love the culture and I love the food. I love everything about Nigeria. And that is why I'm making this video. I love Nigeria so much that recent occurrences are making me really, really sad, even though I am thousands of miles away. Thousands of miles away. But I feel it. I feel your pain. I feel your anguish. I feel your frustrations. I feel your tears. It is so sad. So this is June, right? This month will be my 11th month in Australia. Beautiful country, beautiful people, lovely environment. But can I ever forget my birth country? No, I can't forget Nigeria. Because Nigeria is where I've lived most of my life. My nurturing years were all in Nigeria. I ate the food, I drank the water. So seeing what has become of Nigeria at the moment tears my heart. My hand brings me to, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it, but I know that I have to talk about it. And it's so, so sad. How can over 30 people, women and children, and men, of course, be kidnapped in broad daylight and nothing has been done so far? Where in this world is that possible? Where in the world will such atrocity be done and the government will be carrying on like normal, like nothing has happened? It took all the cries and the noise from social media for the president of that country to even offer a half-hearted, I don't even know what he even said because it doesn't make sense. I listened to it, I couldn't make sense out of it. If you know what he said and you can make sense out of it, please let me know. I'm happy to engage. This is so, so sad. This is the Nigeria now. 11 years ago when I left, let me give you guys a story. When I left 11 years ago, things were not this bad. No, it wasn't. I don't even recall who the president was at the time, but it wasn't this bad. It wasn't this bad, not at all. Yes, there was insecurity, not this bad. It was mostly in the north. I wasn't living in the north at the time. I was living in Lagos at the time, and we hear the stories, we see the news, and we see what's happened in the north, and we're like, oh, Fulani headsmen or bandits or whatever they were called at the time. But we just, it was like from far away. It was like something from afar. I'm sure a lot of you have the same experience. If you don't live in the north, you really don't know what's going on there. I grew up in the north. I saw a little bit when I was in the north, but I left the north and moved to the south, or rather to the west. Yeah, west. 4 geopolitical zones, is it, in Nigeria? 4 or 5? I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, whatever. Let's move on. So I moved on to the west, Lagos precisely. It was blissful. The usual struggles, going to work, being in a hold up for hours, people robbing you in the hold up, those were the things we had to battle with, and that looked like a big deal at the time. Yeah, so it was all right. And then we heard all this news of banditry and stuff like that, especially in the southern part of Kaduna, where I'm from originally. And we heard that and we saw that. And there were promises made that this was going to stop. This was prior to 2015, mind you. The promises were made. New governments were going to come in. Everything will be fine. And then I left. How did I even leave? So I was having these plans of leaving because I felt working in a bank at the time, as I don't even remember what I left us at this point, but yeah. So I was working in the bank. It was pretty juicy at the time. Like at the time, salary was about $350,000 in 350,000 naira, not dollars, 350,000 naira per month in Lagos. So if you earn 350,000 naira, I need to get the currency right. If you earned 350,000 naira at a time in Lagos, they were like, oh, you're living the life. Like it was a lot of money at the time, yeah, because the inflation at the time was not at an all-time high as it is now. So your money could go further, yeah. And then if you lived in the north with a salary of about 350,000 naira, you were living like a king. Like you can afford to have house helps, you can afford to have a gate man, you can afford to have a driver, you can afford to have like the life. It wasn't really expensive lifestyle, but a comfortable lifestyle, yeah. And then at the bank at the time, they were like, oh, you've got to bring deposits. That's what it was called at the time. You've got to bring deposits. So I was working in operations, yeah. I had nothing to do with marketing. I mean, I was in direct contact with the patients patients. I was in direct contact with, oh my God. Now I deal with patients, but then I was in direct contact with the customers. Lord have mercy on me. Oh, Nigeria. Anyway, I was in direct contact with the customers because I was in operations. I wasn't in marketing. But then they said, oh, everyone has to have a target, which means even though you are in operations, when I say operations, I mean like the day-to-day running of the bank. So you walk into a bank hall, you speak to a cashier, the cashier comes to either like the operations manager or the customer service or the I was head teller at the time, so I was in charge of the tellers, supervising, of course. So my role was to oversee the cash, with the head of operations being like the boss of operations in the branch, and the marketing had a different manager here, and they were tasked with going out day to day to source for funds, going to businesses, going to influential individuals and requesting for deposits, yeah, because you need cash to run a bank, as we all know. So they were like, oh, even operations will now have targets. You need to be able to have this amount of fixed deposits brought into the bank, this amount of new customers brought into the bank, this amount of whatever it was at the time brought into the bank. And that was so stressful, yeah. And then to crown it all up, then my husband died. That was a tough time, yeah. So I was like, nah, this is not it for myself and my two young children, both under the age of 5. Yeah, my son was 2 years old and my daughter was 4 years old. So 2 kids under the age of 5, and I, as a lone parent at the time, newly widowed, with all the other shenanigans that went with it, marrying from a family that just didn't care and were more interested in, that's story for another time, yeah. I'll tell that whole chapter of my life. I'll talk about it another day. That was, I mean, now I'm not emotional about it because I'm in a very good place, both mentally, financially, and physically. Yeah, I'm just in a very good place at the moment. So it doesn't, I can talk about it. I will not be emotional. I'm way past that. I've got my kids all growing nicely. Thanks be to the Lord Jesus Christ, who has blessed us immensely and turned our sorrow into joy. Yeah. He gives beauty for ashes. How did they sing that song again? He gives beauty for ashes. Da na 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 na. Honestly, I used to remember that song a lot, but I've forgotten it. But he gives beauty for ashes. That's what I was trying to say. So the Lord came through and has blessed me immensely. So that chapter of my life, I don't look at with any I don't look at with much sadness anymore. It's just a phase. It happened, and and God brought me out of it. As it's gonna bring whoever sees this video and is in the situation, it might be something completely different. It might be financial issues. You're struggling at the moment. You don't know where your next meal is gonna come from. You are sick in your body, or it could be anything. You've got children that are being disobedient. It could be anything. Just know that, just call on God and He'll answer you. I don't know how I got to this point of digressing. That's not what I want to talk about today. But that's okay. If you're here and you're listening, and for some reason, I don't know why, this has been laid into my heart, but I'm just telling you that if you're in a dark place at the moment, God is capable, more than able, to take you out of it. Okay? Amen. So, talking about Nigeria at the time, I fled from Nigeria because I was not in a very good place at the time. And then even the job that I had, which was supposedly good in quotation marks, I was being threatened with, you need to bring more deposits. Everyone who's going to have a target, whether you're marketing staff or your operational staff, it doesn't matter. You will get targets for this bank, or else you will be sacked. Or more. That was how I continued. Sorry, just give me a second. That was how I continued with a job while I was looking for an alternative, yeah? So I applied to Australia at the time, and then as God will have it, God has a plan for everyone's life, yeah? So as God will have it, I got my visa to Australia 11 years ago. A very good time for me because that was a turning point in my life, yeah? So I came into Australia. I came in with almost nothing. I can tell you that for sure. With almost nothing. With almost nothing. But to God be the glory today. So, back to Nigeria. 11 years. And not much has changed. Everything has gone worse than previously. I never imagined Nigeria would be this bad even 5 years after I left Nigeria. I didn't even think that. I didn't think it was possible that Nigeria would be this bad 10 years after, 11 years after. We are not getting it right. We are not getting it right. So sad. Human lives are just like, not even animals now. They're just like some weeds. Plants like weeds. Because here, if it's an animal, they have rights. If something happens to an animal, someone will ask you a question. They will ask you, what has happened to this animal? I have a pet snake, Oliver. He's registered. If anything happens to Oliver today, they will ask me, what happened to your snake? Some people have dogs, some have cats. They're all registered. If Oliver falls sick, I have to take him to the hospital, to the vet. Yeah? Those are animals. Not to talk of a whole human being. Not one. 30, over 30. There's something they are not telling us. So. My theory is that maybe they are trying to deplete the population of the country. It's true now. I have to. They're trying to reduce the population of the country so that only a certain people will live there. Abi? Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Make it make sense for me, please. How can a country of over, what was the last census again? Over 250 million people. A country with over 250 million people. And nothing can be fixed. No electricity. No good roads. No water. I was in Nigeria last year. Was it last year? Yes, now. Last year, March. Last year, March, I was in Nigeria. I was in Lekki. Do you know that you turn the tap? The water that comes out was brown. You know when you defecate in the toilet and you want to even flush, you will not even use that water. You can't even use the water to flush your toilet because your toilet will be stained. Water that is life. You can't get clean drinking water. You have to buy the so-called bottled water that you don't know what is in it. And with all the microplastics and all. People having cancer everywhere just because, of course, you don't know what you're drinking. You don't know what you're eating. This is a very lawless government. Lawless. And this government came in with so much promises. They say Muslim ticket, we said we don't care. Just bring somebody that can fix this country. Just bring someone that can fix Nigeria. How hard can it be? In a country of over 250 million people. Over 250 million. And no single person to take control of that country and make the country normal. Like, normal. Water, basic. Just give us the basic amenities to start with. Give us water. Let there be food. Agriculture, allow agriculture to thrive. Provide security. Because if there is no security, the farmers are scared to go to the farms. Consequently, there is no food. How hard is it? Give us light, electricity, so that industries can thrive. How hard is that? Those are just the basics. Just the basics. Healthcare. Equip our hospitals. Stop the brain drain. Our doctors, nurses are all going out of the country. What is the ratio doctor to patients now in Nigeria? I'm scared to even consider it. What is the ratio nurses to patients now in Nigeria? I'm scared to consider it. Meanwhile, the government officials, the politicians, they have headache today, off to London. Have a ulcer, off to London. Eye ache, off to London. Minor surgery, so off to London. Major surgery, so off to London. And they go to the London, and they still go and meet the Nigerians that have jackpot to the London as their doctors and their nurses. How stupid can African leaders be? How stupid can Nigerian leaders be? Make it make sense. Just make it make sense. Just provide the basics. Just provide the basics. Let people have clean water. Let them have food. Let them have security. Let them have light, electricity. Basic, just to give them a comfortable life. Even here, animal pen, my snake enclosure has 24/7, 365 days a year. The light must be on because the enclosure needs what they call the heat pad, because the snake has a constant temperature, 365 days a year. It must not go beyond that 35 or 36 degrees. So there is a heat pad connected to 365 days electricity. It must be connected. Otherwise, the snake is going to fall ill. That is my pet in there. Oliver. How much more humans? So I have a question. Durono, I have a question. So people that are on oxygen, there are no people that have health conditions that are on oxygen in Nigeria. How do they cope? How do they cope? People with respiratory conditions or heart conditions, whatever conditions that they have, that they are not able to breathe on their own without supplemental oxygen, home oxygen. How do they cope in Nigeria? How do they cope in their homes in Nigeria? How do they live? So by now, all of them would have died now. No, we can do better. We can do better as a people. We can do better as a country. Nigeria can do better. We have what it takes. We have the people. That's the capacity. And we have the land. We have the resources. We have the resources. Several mineral resources. Some countries don't even have one. But we have different mineral resources that we can utilize, and the country will be a good place for everyone. Why is it not happening? Why is it not happening? A country is this unstable, and all people are thinking about is 2027 elections. Make it make sense. How many people will be alive till 2027 at this rate? How many people? They do 30 here today, 30 tomorrow, 100 here, 150 tomorrow. Very soon the country will be empty. Is that the plan? Tell us. Is that the plan? To empty the country, kill everybody, buy everybody. Hey Joe. Lord have mercy. This is my rant for today. I am so, so disappointed in this new government. 3 years, nothing. Nothing has been done. Nothing. May God help us. Help us, Lord.